Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi zidni ilma. Okay, now children, how is everyone? Are you all planning, preparing for your exams? Any questions, any ambiguity, any concerns? Because today we are going to solve one more paper. Okay, fine. Inshallah, your all problems or all concerns will be resolved, inshallah, once we start attempting the papers, okay? Now, today I'm here to discuss one more paper with you, that is computer science. Paper 1 is computer systems. It's May, June 2023, 221011. The waitlist is 11. The duration is 1 hour 45 minutes. You know that you have to answer on the question paper. No additional materials are needed. You have to answer all the questions and you need a black or a dark blue pen, or you may use an HB pencil in order to draw any diagrams. You have to write your name, center number, and candidate number in the boxes at the top of each page, at the top of the page. Write your answer on the space that is given to you. Do not use an erasable pen or correction fluid at all. Do not write on any barcodes. Calculators must not be used in this paper. Paper is of 75 marks, and the number of marks are given at the end of each question or the end of each part in brackets. And remember, no mark is awarded for using the brand names of software packages or hardware, so refrain from writing down the brand names at all. Now let's start with question number 1. Binary is a number system used by computers. This is what we all know. Tick one box to show which statement about the binary system is correct. Now, it's a base 1 system. It is a base 2 system. It is a base 10 system. It is a base 16 system. So out of these 4 options, since it is binary, so you know very well binary means 2. That is why the right option is it is a base 2 system. So you simply tick it and you gain 1 mark. By the way, just asking, base 10, which system strikes your mind? Okay, that's wonderful. It's the denary number system, which is understood by humans. That's wonderful. Talking about the base 16, which system is base 16? Yes, can you recall what is base 16? That is correct. It's your hexadecimal number system. So you can recall this is your hexadecimal and this one is your decimal number system. So this is what you know very well, and you have to write down the correct option. You have to take the correct option. If you know, you can easily score 1 out of 1. Fine. So this is your hexadecimal, base 16, and base 10 is your denary or decimal number system. Clear? Now, let's move on to the next question. Is B part. Denary number systems are converted to binary numbers to be processed by a computer. Convert these 3 denary numbers to 8-bit binary numbers. First one is 50, second one is 102, and third one is 221. So what will you do? The working space is given to you. I suggest you that you write down the values just like in this manner: 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. And then simply turn on those bits, which when added will give you the value of 50 or 102 or 120 or 221. So you see for yourself which bits should be turned on to get 50. Definitely it's going to be 32 plus 16 plus 2. So then you can get 50. Similarly, in order to get 102, I am going to turn on, definitely this bit should be turned off. That's correct, because it is 128. So I'm going to turn on the bit 64 plus 32 plus 4 and plus 2. So when these bits are added, you get the answer as 102. By the way, just a hint that I had given you during the classes also, just remember 64 plus 32 is 96. So whenever you get a value like this, then what you can do is you can simply pay attention to this one, that this is basically 64 and 32 together is forming 96. So it means that these bits will definitely be turned on. And then 96, after that, what is left is 6. So then 4 and 2 will make it 102. Same case goes with 221. Since 221 is bigger than 128, it means that this bit will be turned on. And then you simply turn on these bits, and what you get is 221. By the way, just a hint, just a mean of doing the work a little faster. If I turn on all the 8 bits, what is the value? That's wonderful, 255. So what I do is I actually did it very quickly by subtracting from 255 to 21. And then what I got was 34. And these these 2 bits are off, and the rest of the bits are turned on, and what you get is 221. Easy? Yes? Okay, that's wonderful. Part C. So you can see for yourself, you have found the answer, you have used the working space, and once you are done with your working, then you simply write down the answers in this area and you get 3 out of 3. For each part of the question, you are going to gain 1 mark. Okay, be cautious, and definitely it will not be difficult to score at all. Part C. Binary numbers are stored in registers. Negative binary numbers can be represented as binary numbers using 2's complement. Complete the binary register for the binary number minus 78. You must show all your working. Now this is your working space. So just recall what we have learned is, in order to find out the binary value for a negative number, for a negative integer, what we do is we simply ignore the sign completely, and we are going to find out the binary of the number itself. As you can see, the first point is dealing with that you are supposed to do what? The very first stage is you are going to find out the binary of 78 here. So the first stage is ignore this minus completely and just pay attention to this 78 only. And you have found the binary for 78. 64 plus 8 plus 4 plus 1, 2. That makes 78. Then second stage is flip. Like all the ones become 0 and all the zeros become 1. So what you obtain is 0 became 1, 1. 1 became a 0, 0 became a 1, 0 became a 1, 1 became a 0, 1 became a 0, 1 became a 0, and 0 became a 1. And then you add 1. So there are 3 stages. First one is finding out the binary of the normal number, ignoring the sign completely. Then flip, and then add 1. And what we obtain is simply, now you will ignore, once you are done with this, now you will be concentrating on these 2 areas only. So you will simply find out the answer, and what you obtain is written here. So after flipping and adding, what I obtained was 10110010, and this was written here, and this was your final answer. Understood? Clearly, any questions? If you have a query, then please, the video for 2's complement is there. You may go through it, and definitely that will make your understanding a little better. Okay, maybe move ahead. Okay, that's wonderful. Now, in this manner, you can easily score 2 out of 2. 2 8-bit binary numbers are given. Add the 2 8-bit binary numbers using binary addition. Give your answer in binary, show all your working. So these are your 2 binary numbers. You can see it's a 3-mark question. And how will you score? 1 mark is for each correct nibble. Like these are the nibbles. By the way, you remember, what is a nibble actually? Is it similar to a bit or a byte or whatever? Okay, that's wonderful, Ahmed. Nibble is actually a combination of 4 bits. So you can see there you are going to gain marks for the correct nibble. Then you are going to gain marks for the correct working, for the correct addition. Now you can see. Now it's simply written here, and then you can see for yourself 1 plus 1 is 0 with a carry of 1. 1 plus 1 is 0 with a carry of 1. 1 plus 0 is a 1. 0 plus 0 is a 0. Then 1 plus 0 is a 1. 1 plus 1 is 0 with a carry of 1. 1 plus 1 is 0 with a carry of 1, and again 1 here. By the way, this one is not resulting in a problem. Can we recall what is the problem that we have learned which is linked with addition of binary? Okay, that's wonderful. Overflow error. So is there an overflow error here? No, that's wonderful because the result of the addition is coming in 8 bits. It's not exceeding 8 bits. That's why there's no overflow error. Now, two binary numbers are added by a computer and an overflow error occurs. Explain why the overflow error occurred. Now, the same thing as we talked about right now is asked here. And you can see that whether our answers are matching with the one that they expect us to write. The result of the calculation is greater than 255. The way we have discussed right now, the capacity of a byte is 255. So if a value is even 256, it means it is not in 8 bits, it is occupying the 9th bit, and that is an overflow error. The value generated is larger than that can be stored in the register. The result of the calculation would require more than 8 bits to be represented. A register has a predetermined number of bits, and there are too many bits for it. So the answers may be different. The way you are answering may be different from the one that is here. But your answer should be matching with the main logic, and then you will definitely score 2 out of 2 if you have mentioned 2 valid points. You have mentioned that the result is greater than 255. It's going beyond the 8 bits that is reserved for the register. So your answers should not be exactly like definitely word to word, but they should be 2 distinct points so that you are able to score 2 out of 2. Is it easy? No problem. So in this manner, within a short span, you are able to score some decent marks. Okay, now let's move on to question number 2. A student has a sound file that is too large to be stored on their external secondary storage device. The student compresses the sound file to make the file size smaller. The compression method used reduces the sample rate and the sample resolution of the sound file. State what is meant by the sample rate and sample resolution. Now here, the question is state. It means that you only need, and so it's a 2-mark question for 2 definitions. So what will you be doing? You will simply be writing down the main points regarding sample rate, the number of samples taken in a second, or the number of samples taken per unit time. And similarly for sample resolution, the number of bits per sample. So in this manner, you can easily score 2 out of 2 if you know the definition and you are able to recall the right definition at the right time. Identify which type of compression has been used to compress the sound file. So here you have to refer to the question. Please be very, very cautious that they are talking about compression method used reduces the sample rate and the sample resolution of the sound file. It means that the lossy compression method is the right answer in this case. Okay. The student sends the sound file to a friend. The file is transmitted across a network that uses packet switching. Identify 2 pieces of data that would be included in the header of each packet. Now, can you recall what are the contents of header? And by the way, what are the components of the data packet? Just asking. Header is already mentioned. Excellent. Payload, and the next one is your header is one, payload is the second one, and third one is your trailer. Correct. So what are the pieces of data that are present in header? Okay, that's wonderful. Destination address, the source address, the person who is generating, or the order generator, and the packet number. So here, if you have written 2 points correctly, you can easily score very well. Isn't it easy? And I'll explain how the file is transmitted using packet switching. Now, this is where they are expecting the students to write down to explain actually how the file is transmitted using packet switching. Now, just remember the sequence. First thing is, just recall. First thing is data is split into packets, and each packet could take a different route. And a router is controlling the path that is taken by the packet. And once it is reaching the destination, it may happen the packets are reaching out, maybe running out of order. So Once all the packets have reached the destination, or we can say the last packet has reached the destination, then all the packets are reordered. And if any packet is missing or maybe it is corrupted, so that particular packet is only requested. And remember, the router's job is to find the best possible path, the fastest possible path to reach the destination. So here, if you have recalled the 5 points in the sequence and you have mentioned them in the proper order, you have written them in the proper order, then definitely 5 marks you will gain very easily. So just remember the sequence, dividing the data into packets. Then each packet is going to be sent via a certain route. And definitely the router is controlling the movement of the packets from the source to the destination. And definitely the router's job is to find the best possible path to reach the destination, the one that is shortest, the one that is fastest. And definitely it may happen that the packets may reach without the right order that they were sent, in which they were sent. So on the receiver's end, the packets will be reassembled, will be reordered. And in case any packet has some fault, maybe it is missing, or maybe some data has been corrupted, then definitely that particular packet is only requested from the sender. By the way, how can the data be corrupted? What are the reasons? Can you recall? I think we have talked about it a little bit. What are the reasons of data getting corrupted? It can be due to electromagnetic interference. It can be due to some cross-talking. So just remember, if they ask you in this manner, then at least you will be able to answer. Fine. So 5 marks are yours now. Question number 3. Secondary storage devices are used to store data in a computer. Circle 3 components that are secondary storage devices. Totally, CPU is completely out of question. That's correct. The ones that are circled are compact disk or CD, hard disk drive or HDD, and solid state drive or SSD. Perfect. But why? Definitely, secondary storage is not ROM. Secondary storage is not RAM. And definitely sensors and registers are completely out of question along with CPU. So it was such an easy question. And here you can score so easily 3 out of 3. Okay. So till now, the questions are very easy. Tick one box to show which statement about secondary storage is correct. It is directly accessed by the CPU. Is it correct? No, not at all. That's wonderful. I mean, immediately you can recall directly accessible by the CPU is always the primary storage. It is magnetic storage only. Now, since the word only is there, that's why definitely this is completely out of question. Because, by the way, just asking, what are the other? Now, this only word is actually, if this was not there, then it could have been also chosen. But by the way, can you recall what are the other secondary storage media? Along with magnetic, we do have SSDs, we do have optical also. So definitely magnetic storage is, it is magnetic storage only. That's why this is not the right option. It is used to permanently store software and data files. So you can see the word permanently indicates that it's your storage, that is secondary storage, that is storing the data permanently, and it's there to store the software and the files. It is volatile, completely wrong. You can see for yourself, it's non-volatile. So that is why this is completely out of question. That is by the CPU, this is completely out of question. So what are we left with? This is completely out of question. So this one is the right option, and we have ticked this one here. Okay. So just in this manner, you are going to get your answers. Complete the statement about different types of stock. Complete the statements about different types of software. Use the terms from the list. Some of the terms in the list will not be used. You should only use a term once. Now, remember, very important thing is, one term will be used once only. Dash software provides services that the computer requires. An example is utility software. So utility software is definitely system. So system software is the right answer for this blank. Dash software is run on the operating system. So that is application software. The Dash system is run on the firmware. So firmware is operating system, which is run on the hardware. So in this manner, you can easily score 4 out of 4. Easy? Okay, question number 5. A farm has an automated drinking system for its animals. The drinking system has a water bowl that contains the water. When the water bowl is empty, it is automatically refilled. The system uses a sensor and a microprocessor. Identify the most appropriate sensor for the system. Now you can see it is an automated system which is used by the farm to for its animals, and it is automatically filling in the bowl. So which sensors are the best ones? Definitely level sensor, and then pressure sensor and moisture sensor. So these are the 3 correct sensors, and a student can choose any one and he will be able to score 1 out of 1. Okay. Now question number 5B. Describe how the sensor and the microprocessor are used to automatically refill the water bottle. Now just recall the thing that you have learned. It's basically a 6-mark question. And for a 6-mark question, you need to answer by writing down 6 valid points. Now just remember what we have learned. You have to utilize your learning in this. The first thing is sensors continually send digitized data. So here, digitized data means the one that is converted into digital. So definitely that is there. Okay, so sensors are constantly sending the digitized data to the computer, to the microprocessor. The microprocessor compares data to the stored values. If value is outside the range, or if it matches matches microprocessor signals, or matches a microprocessor, it sends or matches microprocessor sends signal to release water to refill the water bowl. You can see if the value is outside the range, maybe it is matching. So the processor is going to send the signal to release water so that the water will be in the bowl, will fall into the bowl. Now the bowl will be filled by the set amount. Again, you can see that bowl will not keep it will not keep on the water will not keep on falling into the bowl. It will be filled to a certain extent to its level. The bowl will be filled for a certain time period, and definitely actuator is used to release water, and the whole process is repeated until it's turned off or until it's stopped. So the whole process of water falling into the bowl will continue till the time it's not possible to do any further. So in this manner, you can easily score 6 out of 6. If you have understood, recalled your learning, and you are able to put them in the right order, you will definitely be able to score 6 out of 6. Easy? Okay. Now, question number 6. A user wants to connect their computer to a network. Identify the component in the computer that is needed to access a network. So what do you need? You need to access the network. So which component do you need for that? So it's going to be NIC, which you have learned, network interface card or network interface controller, but normally the right word is network interface card, or if you can't recall the expired form, I suggest you that you can write down the smaller form also NIC, or someone can say WNIC, that's also perfect. But what is WNIC? Wireless NIC, that's wonderful. So in this manner, you can easily score 1 out of 1. Okay, identify the type of address that is allocated to the component by the manufacturer. Now here you can see they are not mentioning the keywords, but still you can see for yourself that they are giving you the hints, and you need to utilize your learning to get the answer. See, identify the type of address that is allocated to the component by the manufacturer. Now, by the manufacturer, who is, now from here you can get the hint. If anyone is not able to recall, so definitely you can see the type of address that is allocated to the component, to this component that is mentioned here by the manufacturer. So who is assigning, what is assigned by the manufacturer? Then definitely that is MAC address. So which is used to uniquely identify the device, So here we can see so many hints are given. Uniquely identifying the device, a component by the manufacturer, and definitely address. So it is the right answer. MAC address, media access control address, MAC, All of these are correct options. So just learn the technique of scoring correctly. Always the paper has hints. You just need to be a little smarter to see that what are the hints that are given to you, fine? Although I suggest that your learning should be so perfect that you are able to answer immediately, you are able to recall and answer immediately. But in case this is not the case, then please refer to your complete question, okay? Okay, that's great. Question number 6, Smart B. A dynamic internet protocol address is allocated to the computer when it is connected to the network. Dynamic internet protocol address, dynamic IP address. Identify the device on the network that can connect multiple devices and automatically assign them an IP address. You can see which device, definitely the router. So here you can see the device on the network that can connect multiple devices and automatically assign them an IP address. So that is the router. This is the router's job. Along with what we have studied, like finding out the best possible path, the router is also performing the activity of definitely connecting the different devices the way we have it at our phones, and they are given a dynamic IP. Describe what is meant by a dynamic IP address. Now you can see the way we have been talking about the IP addresses, multiple addresses, which is divided into dynamic and can you recall the other one? Yes, static IP. That's wonderful. The one that is a fixed IP, the one that is given and it remains same is static IP. So what is dynamic here? It is used to uniquely identify a device on a network. It can change each time a device is connected to the network. That's why it is called dynamic, the one that changes, the one that does not remain same. So each time the device is connected to the network, the IP address changes, and that is called dynamic IP address. Any questions? And a static IP address, although not being asked here, but still you can recall, it's an address that remains constant, and the web servers have this static IP address. And again, okay, now, a programmer uses a low-level language to write a computer program for a vending machine. Describe what is meant by a low-level language. It's two more question. It's close to the language processed by the computer. It may use mnemonics. An example of low-level language is assembly language, or it's machine code. So if you talk about is closer to the language processed by the computer, it may use the mnemonics. I mean, I suggest that you better write down the first 2 points and then you can easily score 2 out of 2. Because these are the mnemonics that are used, something that is a little bit closer to the computer's language. It's not as difficult as it's not, you can say, it's not high level language. It's not dealing with the words that are closer to English. It's using mnemonics. So, but be careful about the spelling. It's mnemonics. Okay, now give 2 reasons why the programmer would choose to write the computer program in a low-level language instead of a high-level language. Still, there are some reasons why the programmers still prefer to write the programs in a low-level language. So the reasons are any two are being asked, so you can write down any two from here, can directly manipulate the hardware. I mean, hardware is directly accessible. No requirement for the program to be portable. It's non-portable. Program will be more memory efficient. Very important thing, it's going to be memory efficient. No requirement for a compiler or interpreter. I mean, by the way, which is the still, do we need any translator for the low-level language? Yes, yes, that's wonderful. It is the assembler, but there is no need. Maybe a student can write down there is no need for a compiler or interpreter. So he is also correct. Quicker to execute, can use specialized hardware. So if you have taken written any of these 2 points, then you will definitely score 2 out of 2. Reasons why the programmer would choose. Now, they're just asking you the reasons. So out of these, there can be there are definitely something that you can see are you can say certain things which are better as compared to the high level languages, which are advantageous. And you can see quicker to execute. Remember, low level language programs are always executing faster. They're always using specialized hardware. There's no need for the program, like there's no need for the program can be, the program is non-portable. Designed for one architecture will work on that architecture only. So you can choose any point, any of the 2 points, and you will score 2 out of 2. Okay? Any questions? Question number 8. A manager at a company is concerned about a brute force attack on its employee user accounts. Describe how a brute force attack can be used to get access to the employee user accounts. For this, you need to be very much clear about the brute force attack. So what is it actually? Now, it's a 3-mark question. It's a trial and error. And this trial and error is done to guess a password. And combinations are repeatedly entered until the correct password is found. And this can be carried out manually or automatically by the software. So we do have, when a brute force attack can be applied by people, the way like, you can see, some people do keep on guessing the passwords by trial and error. They keep on trying. That is also that is brute force attack. Or you may have access to a computer program that is working as brute force attack. So these both are correct options, and you will definitely score 3 out of 3. So just be clear. For 3-mark question, you have to answer 3 valid points. Just always look at the question, answer the marks that are needed, and then start framing your answers, okay? One possible aim for carrying out a brute force attack is to install malware onto the company network. State 2 other aims for carrying out a brute force attack to gain access to the employee user accounts. So the reasons are any 2 from, to steal or to view or to access the data, to delete the data, to change data, to log account, or to encrypt the data, to damage reputation of a business. So these are the means of brute force attack. It can go to such extent where the attacker may damage the reputation of a business also. But these are the normal means, like to steal the password, to get the password. These are the means that is applied to by the person who is using brute force attack. Okay. Now identify 3 types of malware that could be installed. Malware, any 3 from virus or worm or Trojan horse, spyware, adware, ransomware. So you can mention any 3 from here, and you are able to score 3 out of 3. Isn't it easy? Okay. Give 2 security solutions that could be used to prevent a brute force attack being successful. What can you do? What can you do to be safe? Now, any 2 from 2-step verification. So since it's a 2-mark question, so you can mention any 2 points: biometrics, 2-step verification or 2-factor authentication, firewall or proxy server, a strong or complex password. Like for example, the one that is written as just an example, setting a limit of for login attempts, like it should not be unlimited. The person should be only allowed to go on for login attempts to a certain extent. Drop-down boxes, definitely through that you can limit the attack on the form of spyware. So request for partial entry of the password. You may ask the person to maybe enter maybe first, second, or third character from the password. You may ask the person to maybe enter some characters from the password only. So in this manner, these are the means which are going to definitely secure your account against brute force attack. Okay. Question number 9. A company uses robots in its factory to manufacture large pieces of furniture. One characteristic of a robot is it is programmable. Now, just be very, very attentive. What the question says is, one characteristic is it is programmable. So it means programmable is already given to you. State 2 other characteristics of a robot. Now, you are given 2 lines and with the number. First thing is it has a mechanical structure, or it has a mechanical framework. It has electrical components. And one more that you can recall is it has some degree of movement. Yes, very rightly said by Ali. Thank you very much. So along with these, what you have learned actually are the 3 characteristics: programmable, some sensors are being, it is able to sense the surrounding, and the third one is it is it is able to move. It has some degree of movement. So you can say is able to sense the surroundings also. So mechanical structure, electrical components are dealing with the movement. So you can talk about it is able to sense the surroundings. So in this manner, you can easily score 2 out of 2. Isn't it easy? Okay. Give 2 advantages to company employees of using robots to manufacture large pieces of furniture. Now just pay attention. What do you think is the right answer for this question? Let's see. What are the answers that you are giving? Yes, 24/7 working. Okay. Anything else? By the way, did you pay attention to the word give 2 advantages to company employees? Now, if I say 24/7, is it going to be to be having any impact or any advantage to the company employees? I mean, isn't it the advantage for the employers? So this is the basic thing. Now, are you clear now? Can you think of what are the 2 advantages to the company employees if the robots are used to perform their activity to manufacture large pieces of furniture? I think now you're on the point. You're on point. So can you think of the right answers now? Okay, are we ready? Now, any two from, you can see, employees don't need to lift heavy furniture. Employees can be protected from dangerous tasks. Employees can utilize their skills in other tasks. Employees don't need to perform repetitive or mundane tasks. So any two from these are going to give the benefit, are going to be beneficial for the company employees. Okay. Now, part C. Give 1 disadvantage to the company's owners of using robots to manufacture large pieces of furniture. So here you can see any 1 disadvantage. You can see here, expensive to install or purchase or set up. Now remember, in the long run, it is advantageous, but in the beginning, it is expensive to install, it is expensive to purchase, it is expensive to set up. High ongoing costs or maintenance costs are very high. May de-skill the workforce. If they malfunction, production may stop completely. Production may halt. I mean, if they continue functioning perfect, if they malfunction, then the whole production will come to a standstill. And may de-skill the workforce. And by the way, de-skilling means a loss of skilled labor due to the introduction of automation. So when automation is being used, when robots are being used, then definitely we are going to lose some of the skilled laborers, the ones who are well versed with the working of with their own working, but they are going to lose their job because now their job is replaced by the machines. And it's a 1 mark question. You have written the right disadvantage to the employees, employers, and definitely you are or employers or owners, and you will definitely score 1 out of 1. So be very cautious. Read the question, I suggest. Underline the keyword the way I have shown you that employees was the word. Okay. Question number 10. A student uses the internet for their schoolwork to research what is meant by farming. State the aim of farming. So what is farming doing? It's there to obtain personal data. It is there to obtain the personal details. The objective of farming is to obtain personal details. And that can be personal details like for example, the PIN. It can be the credit card details. It can be maybe your passwords. So this is what the aim of farming is. Now you are not supposed to explain anything else except for the aim of farming. Please be cautious. What they want is just explanation of the aim of farming. That's all. Just pay attention to this word. What is it meant to do? What is the purpose of farming? Why they are doing it? Not what is farming at all. Okay. Now draw and annotate a diagram to represent the process of farming. So you can see here, it's a 4-mark question and a 1 mark for each correct part of the diagram. Diagram should show user clicks or opens attachments or links that triggers download. Malicious software is downloaded onto the user's computer. User enters the website address and user is then redirected to a fake website. So this is what is the process of Pharming. So here they didn't ask about the Pharming process, but here they're asking about the Pharming process. So if your diagram is dealing with all these 4 points, then definitely you will score 4 out of 4. This is just an example. Let's see what is happening here. User's computer has malware. User clicks the link. Now you can see it is going to user types in the website address. Request gets redirected. Now the real website is here. User's computer has a malware, and this malware came because the user clicked on a link that is going to download the malware on his computer. So this is the user's computer. In the beginning, maybe it is free of some sort of any sort of malware, but the moment he clicks on a link, now be very, very attentive. The keyword that are very, very important are, you need to see for yourself, it's the basically the clicking of the link. That is very, very important. You are clicking the link, and with this link clicking, you are downloading malware, and this is going to attack your computer, and you are definitely going to, although you're typing the password, but you are taken to a fake website. The original one is not selected at all, is not, you are not directed to the real website, to the correct one, you are taken to a fake website. So if you have understood the whole process, you remember the whole process, then you can draw in any manner, but you need to see these points are to be covered to definitely gain 4 out of 4. I think by now we are now clear how to answer the questions, isn't it? We are okay with the process of gaining the marks now, okay? Easy? Okay. The student uses a web browser to access data on the internet. Explain the purpose of the web browser. It's a 2-mark question. So see, what is the web browser doing? This is what you know. The web browser is there to display the web pages, but these web pages are actually displayed by rendering the HTML, hypertext markup language. So in this manner, you will definitely score 2 out of 2 if you have mentioned the 2 key points like displaying the web pages by rendering HTML. 2 out of 2 are yours. Storing cookies is one function of the web browser. Give 3 other functions of the web browsers, 3 other functions. What else are they meant to do? Now be attentive. They have mentioned one already, storing cookies. Now, once you are talking about the others, you will not mention the cookies at all. Otherwise, you will not score any mark for that particular point. Now, what are the other ones? You not already know it. Storing bookmarks or favorites, recording user history, allowing use of multiple tabs, providing navigation tool, providing an address bar, managing protocols, like the different protocols are managed by the web browser. Checking the digital certificate is also performed by the web browser. Send URL to DNS. By the way, URL is Uniform Resource Locator, and DNS is Domain Name System. Yes, exactly. These two are again very important terminologies. Questions can come from here also. So you need to know what are the parts of a URL. You need to know the purpose of DNS. Although I'll discuss a little bit briefly, but there are videos for these two also. So you can watch them for a complete understanding of these 2 topics also, where they are again very important. Sends a request to the IP address or to the web server to obtain the contents of the web page. Runs ActiveScript or runs JavaScript or the client-side script. And it allows files to be downloaded from website, or it allows files to be downloaded from the internet. So you can mention any of these 3 points except for storing cookies, and you can easily score 3 out of 3. Easy? Okay, now I'll talk about, I'll discuss the URL and DNS also. Thank you very much for reminding. By the way, what is URL? URL is Uniform Resource Locator. Perfect, but what is it actually? Excellent, Ali. It's another name for website address. And what does a computer actually understand? What is easier for humans to write? Is it easier for us to write, to type the URL? Or is it easier for us to type the IP addresses? Remember, yes, what is easier? Yes, for us humans, typing URLs is easier. So what happens is there's one server by the name DNS or domain name system or domain name server that is there to resolve the URL with equivalent IP address so that the computer can actually access the web server. So the job of DNS is converting the given URL, the typed URL to its equivalent, find out the equivalent IP address of the given URL and send it back to the computer so that the computer can perform a two-way communication with the web server. So there's another topic, another video that is available for both the URL and the DNS. Please do watch it. If you have any query, then that will be resolved there. Okay? Okay, that's great. Wonderful. Thank you. A student visits a website that uses session cookies instead of persistent cookies. Explain the difference between session cookies and persistent cookies. It's a 4-mark question. So how will you solve and how will you gain marks for that? Any four from session cookies, as the name implies, are for the session, and they are stored in the memory or they are stored in RAM. Whereas persistent cookies are stored on the hard drive or they are stored on secondary storage. So there is one important point. When the browser is closed, a session cookie is lost, but is only there for the session. Whereas a persistent cookie is not lost, it is going to be there for the time being until it is deleted by the user or the time has expired. So if you have written these 4 points properly, talking about the session cookies, they are stored in the memory for a short duration for the time being, whereas the persistent cookies are going to be stored on the hard drive for a longer time period, for the like permanently, definitely. And when the browser is closed, session cookie is lost, it's gone, it's no more there, while persist cookie is going to be there till the time it is deleted by the user or the time has expired. So in this manner, you can easily score 4 out of 4. Yes, any questions? Okay. So now it means that we have completed one more paper. I hope that you are now able to comprehend each and everything well. Along with the other papers, we have been doing papers quite regularly. So I hope that we all are confident about paper 1 now. Just recall whenever you are sitting for the paper, recall whatever instructions I have been doing, I've been telling you repeatedly, and follow those instructions, and inshallah you'll be successful. Jazakallahu khairan kaseera for being a part of the learning journey. I hope that you have enjoyed this learning. Share my channel with your friends and family so they all are going to benefit from the learning. And do not forget to click on the bell icon so that you are getting the latest updates as soon as any new videos are uploaded. And be a part of the Facebook community also so that you are definitely getting the latest updates. Allah Hafiz once again.